Hey, Advanced Chem. What I do is talk you through this new project that I'm gonna have you guys do. In this light of no going back to school for the rest of the school year, gives us an opportunity to do some DNA, which we don't normally do in this course. So I think it'd be kind of cool for you to research this. So I'm going to put a link up for all of this. So I just thought I'd talk you through it to kind of give you some ideas. So DNA analysis has been probably around 25, 30 years. I found this article from a good resource that kind of gives you a little bit of the history. You don't have to use it, but I thought it'd be a good resource for you. So what I want you to do is to find, when was it first used? When did it first go to court? Because again, in some cases, DNA might just be used to kind of get a suspect to admit that they did something or something like that. Sometimes it really doesn't always go all the way to court. So a little bit of the history. What is the process? What do they need to collect at the crime scene? Give me all of the sources of DNA that they have used in crime scenes. How do they actually test for it? Explain the process, include maybe a link to a video if you could find one. For this, again, some of you, again, might have a stronger biology background, so you might enjoy going into that, but kind of describe how they test for it. The evolution, it has changed in the past 30 years in terms of just the technology, in terms of the PCR developing and other things like that. So how has it evolved over these last 30 years? And then one particular thing I do want you to talk about is something called touch DNA. Again, the DNA processing that they have now is far more involved. And so they could get DNA off of smaller and smaller samples. So it's sometimes called touch DNA. So explain what that is. Matching include the databases that they use to compare the DNA profiles, and then what kind of interpretation do they do? So there's something called inclusion, exclusion, and inconclusive in terms of when they give the reports. What do those terms mean in terms of the DNA? Cases, again, I did enjoy the cases you guys found for fingerprinting. But this one, again, you're probably going to have a lot of cases that you could pull from. So again, you could watch forensic files. There's all sorts of stuff out there that you can use for this. But there's also, I want a separate case where the DNA was compared to what we call an ancestry DNA database. And there's a couple famous ones that were just saw the last couple years. So you should be able to find those. And again, a little feedback from your fingerprinting. Give me some detail here, and you will see your point value will go up the more you can put. And then this one is going to be slightly different from fingerprinting, where I'm going to have you do like an opinion. So a lot of DNA databases include people that have been convicted of a crime in some states. I don't know if it's all 50 states. You can get a DNA sample from somebody who's been arrested for a crime. So that doesn't mean you've been convicted, and there's a big difference there. So in your opinion, should people who are arrested for a crime be required to give their DNA? And secondly, should all citizens give their DNA so we would have a national database? So there's pluses and minuses to giving up your DNA. And so I'd like you just to discuss that. And for this one, I do want you to cite your sources. Again, just some links that you have used for your research. And I have put a link to this document so that you can make a copy of it and you could type directly into it. So it's going to have the same description as I just went over, so you could kind of edit it as you go, so you kind of know what you're need to include in this project. So I didn't put it on slides because I thought it'd be easier. If you want to do it on slides, that's okay. But I thought it would be more productive to put it just on a document. Please know this is going to be worth 75 points, and I am going to put it in the lab category. So just kind of a side conversation, I did grade the fingerprinting project that you guys did. So if you go into your slides, you will see I populated a new slide right underneath your beginning slide, and I did give you a grade for it. I put it in your homework, and you might have already seen that. So this one, the DNA analysis research, I'm going to actually put this in a lab category. So this has the opportunity for you to improve your grade because again, it's a bigger category for labs than anything else. So again, I hope you enjoy it. Again, DNA is quite fascinating in terms of crime scene technology. So that will be your project.